If you go on any Star Trek fan forum or top episode list, even if you take the whole franchise into consideration, City on the Edge of Forever is collectively considered the best episode. And that does make it harder to talk about. People have been watching this episode and analyzing it and talking about how brilliant it is for more than half a century, and usually what I like to do is bring a unique perspective to Star Trek, and I like to focus on the more controversial episodes to do that with. So what I thought I'd do this time is do a breakdown as to why this episode is considered so brilliant, and really break it down step by step. First and foremost, the stakes. Essentially that means what's at risk, what do the characters stand to lose. In this episode, Dr. McCoy accidentally injects himself with a dangerous drug that makes him delusional and paranoid. He enters a portal via the Guardian of Forever, accidentally causing a rift that makes the Enterprise disappear. It turns out that McCoy in his delusional state caused history itself as they know it to disappear. Kirk and Spock have to change history back and have no idea where exactly in time and space McCoy may be or what they have to do to fix history. So in short, first they lose Dr. McCoy, a valuable member of the crew, then they lose the Enterprise itself, and then they lose history as they know it. So in this episode, the stakes are at their very highest, and if they fail, there are disastrous consequences. Second, the options. This episode gives us the ultimate moral dilemma. Now, throughout the series, Captain Kirk is the person responsible for making difficult decisions, lives are often hanging in the balance, and he's often torn between logic and emotion, represented by Spock and McCoy. However, this situation goes deeper than the lives of a few red shirts. While he's back in time, he falls in love with Edith Keeler, a kind-hearted woman who has the same vision of a hopeful future as he does, and she's working towards it by helping the down-and-out make better lives for themselves.
Now, I don't pretend to tell you how to find happiness and love when every day is just a struggle to survive. But I do insist that you do survive, because the days and the years ahead are worth living for.
She's on the track to becoming a very important person, starting a powerful peace movement that delays the US from entering World War II. However, her doing that gives the Germans time to develop the A-bomb to win the war. Her death ends up being the necessary variable in order to set history right. Kirk realizes that the woman he loves must die, and he has to be the cause of it in order to save millions of lives and set history right. The ultimate dilemma that this episode presents is the needs of the many or the needs of the few, or the one. And finally, the choice, the sacrifice for the greater good. This is where we see the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few really come into play. Edith Keeler was a good person who didn't deserve to die. She had the right vision, the right values, and was doing the right work in order to have a better future. Even though Kirk loved her and wanted her to succeed, he made the tough sacrifice to let her die in order for millions to be saved and history and time to be restored. Facing the themes of war and peace head-on, it leaves us with the controversial message that even though a better, more peaceful future for everyone is the ultimate goal, unfortunately it comes at a heavy price. Some of the most deserving people building it don't always get to see that future. Don't get me wrong, the peaceful, pacifistic approach to problem solving is important in many areas and certainly has its place. People building a better future may not always get to see the full result, but they do set the stage for what's worth fighting for, protecting, and believing in, and the goals we should be working towards. That work is never done in vain. However, by itself, the peaceful approach is not always enough, and sometimes we have to temporarily let go of that ideal when faced with a threat in order to truly and effectively defend the things worth living for.
I could have saved her. Do you know what you just did? He knows, Doctor. He knows.
Kirk didn't just sacrifice one life, albeit the life of a woman he loved and cared about. He sacrificed his own values and ideals in order to get the job done. A decision that, while necessary and ultimately successful, weighs on him. That's why instead of a triumphant ending, we get a bittersweet one.
Captain, the Enterprise is up there. They're asking if we want to beam up.
equality.
The stakes, options, choices, and sacrifices in this episode are on the largest scale of the series, and all of that coming together is why City on the Edge of Forever is the best Star Trek episode.